Could it be? But me, your man, Louie T. Welcome to the command post. You know what it is. Post up. Take command. I, of course, am your commander-in-chief, Louie T. Thank you for joining me. I talked about Washington being aggressive in this tampering period, and that is exactly what they've been. Already agreeing to a deal in principle with offensive lineman Nick Gates. They double up on the offensive line by going after offensive lineman Andrew Wylie of the Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs. To me, this is the second move in what could be a long list of moves that I think was initiated by new offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy. I don't think it's a coincidence that we saw them swap out essentially Cam Sims for Marcus Kemp. Similar body type. We talked about this already. Special teams dynamo coming in here from Kansas City, a guy that Bieniemy can vouch for. Now you're seeing them go after a former offensive lineman of the Kansas City Chiefs, a guy that can play both guard and tackle. Most recently was the offensive right tackle for the Kansas City Chiefs. Let's talk about the deal itself, and then we'll get to Andrew Wylie, the player, here in a second. But the deal is 3 years, $24 million. So, again, let me stress to you, you get what you pay for on the free agent market, okay? A lot of times. Not all the time. Okay, some guys outperform their contract. Some guys underperform and don't live up to the hype of a massive contract. But normally, if you're shopping in a specific area like Washington is shopping, understand what you're getting. You're not getting an elite tackle when you spend $24 million over 3 years, okay? So understand what you're paying for and then set your expectations there. So if you're looking for a world beater, I told you that guy was Jawan Taylor out of Jacksonville, who the Chiefs swapped out Andrew Wylie for and signed him to a 4-year, $80 million deal. You're looking for something elite, that's the kind of money you're going to have to spend. We weren't looking to spend that kind of money, so understand what we're probably getting, okay? Andrew Wylie, solid offensive lineman, okay? Solid offensive lineman, and he will help here. It's an upgrade over what we've been putting on the field, especially if we can stay healthy and we can sort out where all of these pieces fit. Okay. However, understand that he is not an elite tackle. If that's what you're looking for, sorry, that's not what you're getting. Okay. Understand it. Now, let's talk about Andrew Wylie, the player. So 3 years, $24 million. All right. This is a guy that was undrafted. I talked about Ron Rivera really liking to loving these guys that are late round draft picks, undrafted, guys that get it out the mud. Here's another example. Nick Gates, undrafted out of Nebraska. Here's another example here. Andrew Wylie, undrafted out of Eastern Michigan. So this is a guy that bounced around early on, signing with the Colts as an undrafted free agent and getting cut there, signing with the Browns thereafter, getting cut there, signing with the Chargers, getting cut there, before finally latching on with Kansas City, making their football team, and ultimately infiltrating the offensive line and the starting offensive line after they had some issues up front and really helped fortify that offensive line. So he was a guy that worked to get where he is now, and I think Ron, does like when guys have to do that. So he's coming in here with a chip on his shoulder. This is the first time he's ever made any kind of money really in the league. All right. He's had a couple of one-year stints with the Chiefs. Nothing really major, no real contract. This is the first time he's made some money, so hopefully he'll be hungry here in Washington and perform at a level that suggests the contract that he just signed, maybe even outplay and perform that contract. But I think you kind of know what he is as a player at this point. The real question now becomes, where is he going to fit on this offensive line? Bieniemy saw this guy every day for the last 4 seasons in Kansas City, starting in 2019 when he really started to get opportunity to play on the field. And so Bieniemy is very comfortable with what he is capable of. The question is he a better guard than he is a tackle? What are you signing him to do? Because a 3-year, $24 million deal doesn't suggest he's automatically a tackle. Okay, that sounds more like guard money if we're being honest with each other. Okay, that's more guard money than tackle money. So the real question is, what do they view Andrew Wylie as? We don't know right now, because the thought process when this deal first was agreed upon So that means Sam Cosmi's kicking inside the guard. However, they still may feel like Sam Cosmi's a better tackle than guard, or at least say, let's give him another chance because when he's healthy, Cosmi makes a damn good tackle. So I don't know if they've given up on the prospects of Sam Cosmi as a starting tackle. Either way, they're going to fortify the right side of the offensive line. Either way, whether it's Cosmi at tackle, Wylie at guard, or vice versa, Wylie at tackle, Cosmi at guard, that's going to be the starting right side of your offensive line. We just don't know in what order, okay? So what they're effectively doing is they're trying to fortify the right side of the offensive line, okay? And so Wylie's going to start. They brought him in here to start. Unlike Nick Gates, where it's not a guarantee that he starts. Wylie's brought in here to start. Whether it's guard or tackle remains to be seen. We'll see what they decide. But what I love here is our swing tackle, Cornelius Lucas, Luke, is going back to being our swing tackle. And to me, that is his ultimate superpower. So, again, you're adding depth on this offensive line. You're giving yourself options. And you're putting guys back into their proper slots. Luke isn't supposed to be penciled in as your day one starter. He's the guy that comes in and starts for you for 3 weeks while the guy's got a sprained ankle, okay? I don't want Luke starting week 1. I like him coming off the bench in the second quarter because the guy went down. I know he's going to be able to fill in admirably, okay? That's his superpower. So Andrew Wylie coming in here gives you another body on this offensive line. It helps to clean it up. Again, he's a pretty durable offensive lineman, all right? He's had a couple of nicks and knacks throughout his career, a little ankle injury here, you know, a little issue with his stomach there, right? But he played in all 17 games last year, you know, and for the most part, you're talking about a guy, 71 games, 59 starts. So I'm not too concerned about if we're getting a guy that's going to be able to stay healthy and perform at a high level. The question is, inside or outside? And a lot of people will point to sacks given up, pressures, things of that nature. It's up to Washington to decide exactly where he's going to be best utilized for this football team. I will tell you this, and this is something that definitely resonates. In the Super Bowl against that vaunted Philadelphia Eagles defense, who came into the Super Bowl with the most sacks since the 85 Bears, right? Or was it the 84 Bears, right? Over 70 sacks on the season for the Philadelphia Eagles defensive line. No sacks given up. Andrew Wylie was on an island all night long. All night long. All night. Oh. All night long. All night. All night. And he didn't give up a damn sack. Now, a lot of people talked about the field and the conditions. It was slippery. It was ridiculous. Hey, everybody had to play on that same track. At the end of the day, that, I think, game went a long way in helping him secure this opportunity here in Washington. And I want to see what they decide to do with him. Again, whether he's at tackle or at guard, I think he's a better guard than tackle. I'm just going to tell you that right now. I think he's better served as a guard than a tackle. But if they decide to put him out at tackle, I think he will be able to do a solid job. But understand, you get what you pay for. Okay, so if they put him at tackle and he gives up a pressure or he gives up a sack, don't be upset, okay? Don't get upset and twist it all in a bunch because, again, 3 years, $24 million, if that's what you're going out in free agency and spending at the right tackle position, then you're going to get 3 years, $24 million results. If you stick him at guard, he might end up being a Pro Bowler for us. The hope is Sam Cosmi can finally stay healthy, get his shit together, and play right tackle. That's the hope. And Andrew Wylie can come in here and man up guard. That's the hope. Because that's where he's best suited to play. But we'll see. Either way, another body up front that gives us more depth on the offensive line, and that's the key term. More depth, more options. Again, another guy you throw into the pot at guard/tackle, and you mix them all up. And again, Chris Paul. All right, you still got Andrew Norwell, even though I don't want him anywhere near the field. You got Chris Paul, you got Andrew Norwell, you got Nick Gates, you got Chase Roulier, unless something happens and changes there. You got, you have Andrew Wylie now. You have Sam Cosmi. And so you got all these pieces. And even though I made a joke, there's still Sadiq Charles as well. Okay? Still Sadiq Charles temporarily, I believe. But you got a bunch of pieces in there in the mix, and they're not done. So this is a good feel. Okay? Like the direction we're heading, but we're not done. Work is still left to be done. But Ron said this, and I'll leave you with this. He said, I want to handle all of the positions so that we go into the draft not needing to do anything, but rather wanting to do certain things. He's well on his way, because I didn't think they would attack tackle, which they could have done here with Andrew Wylie. I didn't think they would do that. I thought they would be essentially focusing in on the interior offensive line. And that may be ultimately what they've just done by getting Gates and Wylie. We'll see. Again, nothing's etched in stone at this point. We just added another body. And I'll tell you this, Wylie's a badass competitor. And I'm pretty sure that's why you've got Eric Bieniemy, who's also a badass competitor. That's why you've got him vouching for him. Wylie's a badass competitor. I've listened to him talk over the years. You know, I listened to him after they beat the Eagles, and a lot of those guys had chips on their shoulders because Eagles were getting all of the publicity and they were pretty much getting shitted on. And after the game, after walking the walk during the game, he talked that talk after the game. So I like me some Andrew Wylie. We just added another dog and another nasty up front. So I love what we're doing. Now, let's see. We're not finished. Let's see where they continue to go from here. That's going to do it for me, your man Louie T, here on the Command Post. You know what it is. Post up. Take command. I told you guys we were going to be active in this first day of the tampering period. I told you this is what the plan was going to be. This was the expectation. No big spending. Okay, you see what's going on here, right? No big spending. I don't know if they'll do anything at linebacker. None of the big linebackers have come off the board yet, so don't be so quick to jump to any conclusions. Relax. Woosah, breathe. Let's just see what happens at linebacker before you overreact. But anyway, that's going to do it for me, your man Louie T. If anything else happens, you know where to find me. See you next time. LouieTeeNetwork.